The content you're about to watch is intended for audiences 13 and older.
Hey, I want Aero Pegasus. Where the hell can I get that at?
Wait, I have an idea! If these fuckers won't let me buy it for a cheap price, I'll build it my fucking self. Hey, what is up, guys? It's your boy, Isaac Jones, also known as Lumen Ike, and today we are going to be taking on a fun little world of 3D printing, and specifically Aero Pegasus. Because why the fuck did Takara Tomy decide, let's just hide a very special Beyblade behind a gotcha, because of course, Japan. And so, because everyone else in the world, especially with Takara Tomy now taking full advantage of their own distribution, especially in places like the West, where Hasbro has a much more authoritative state on Beyblade. They still decide, you know what? Let's just make players work for a gotcha. So fuck it, I'll build my own, and we are going in depth in this shit. So yes, as you can tell, I have actually gone ahead and gone to just 3D print an Aero Pegasus for myself, and I'll go in depth, step by step detail on how you can get your own, how to make your own, and how to avoid any pros and cons, especially in this tariff Trump environment. Let's not get things political here. I'm just saying because the 3D prints are coming from China. That's all I'm gonna say. So without further ado, let's get started, shall we? Now, of course, the first place you want to go to is go get your 3D model, but you don't know how to find a 3D model. And thanks to two content creators online who I will have in the link description, in the link below, description, yes, words, autism. I'm autistic, so I can say that. Anyway, thanks to two content creators, Baymac and Raijin. Both have, both are the only one, both bleh, bleh. Both are the only content creators online that have actually had any videos out there that show off a 3D printed Aero Pegasus. And what I want to do is show you guys. So first, I'm gonna go to this place called Tinkercad, which is probably where you should probably go. So obviously, I've got Beyblade X 3 models Tinkercad inside here. Uh, we're gonna then also get down to Aero Pegasus because Spence and ooh 3. So as you can see right here, there's already like the 3D models you can find on here. And yes, I'm using Bing. Shut up. I like Bing. It's not terrible. It's whatever. It's so as you can see. No, no, zoom in. Thank you. So as you can see, we have the main metal contact piece, the launcher prongs, and the ratchet attachment. Yeah, that rhymes. Anyway, yeah, we have these parts, which is what we're going to be downloading. I want to go back to 100%, please. 125%. No, 125. Get back to it. Anyway, yes, we are going to be using this model, and we are going to be going over on directly onto Tinkercad, which is the website. Onto Tinkercad. Thank you, please. So right here, as you can see, Aero Pegasus, and this image is taken straight from Pays and Bricks, which is actually where I get some of my Beyblades from. Now, as you can also see, ooh, wait, are you serious? They have an Excel? Oh, oh shit, I didn't even know about that. Well, where I got my models from was a completely different area. I probably will have to download this again. I think this is where I realistically got my 3D model from, this specifically, and it gives you everything that you need. You can download in both STL and OBJ format. So what is STL and OBJ format? Well, firstly, it's just the the file type. Like say if you're using an MP4 for video or MKV for video, that's kind of what this is. It's just a way of telling the computer or the printer what to do. Now, most of the time, you're going to want to use STL because I'm pretty sure that is the most popular format or the most compatible format for 3D printers, but for this, I'm not going to use it because one, I think I have to separate all these, but I can't remember. However, I need to sign up to download. I mean, I'll bet I already did. However, all of my information that I can even sign into my Autodesk Tinkercad account is on my phone, and I'm not bothered to do that right now. So just sign up. It's free. Just get these downloaded. And if you can, I should. I don't know why I didn't grab these ones, but if you want to and if you can grab these, the Excel and the 370 parts, absolutely. Because what I'm about to do is I'm probably gonna harvest like an harvest like a Dran sword or a drum buster in order to even get the parts that are close enough. I would go for a hammer incendio. However, it's too red for me, so I'm not gonna do that. So anyway, I'm probably just gonna leave it at 360 and in a regular cell, and we should be okay from there. Then next up, you're gonna want to start getting your 3D models uploaded to JLC 3DP. Now, I've never heard of them until like maybe last week or like yeah, it was last week because that's when I got paid. So anyway, this is where I got recommended to go by Baymac, who literally got his 3D print of Aero Pegasus, who he then made into a Big Bang Pegasus from the 4D slash Metal Fury era. So there's that. So anyway, what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to start adding 3D files. Now, I have all of these. Ignore the only ones you're really gonna want to focus on are the head top, head part, and head metal which I will have in the description down below. It will actually be, I believe, part of a Google Drive that was provided by Raijin, and not the Tinkercad. But if you want to go to Tinkercad, you can absolutely do so. And as you can see, these are well, it says 3D parts. You probably want to check these out before you start doing it because what happens next will affect whether or not you can use these or not. So anyway, I'm gonna just open these up. They support STL STP, but they also support OBJ, which is fantastic. I think that if you can follow some kind of clean and clear cut dry guide, whatever, you absolutely do so. So we have three individual parts, which if you don't know, that's how a main blade is made up of three parts. Even on on a CX and a BX blade, well, technically CX is like six technically to some regard being the fact that it uses screws to mix both plastic and metal into the actual like contact blade itself, but that's besides the point. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I did and specifically what you need to look out for. So, firstly, what I did is I chose resin and then I chose JLC black resin. Why? Because it's what he chose, and I also looked at the description. Uh, it says good surface texture, smooth, high toughness and durable, good dimension stability, excellent hardness, high strength, good temperature resistance up to 65°C, which I assume is around maybe 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Around that mark, I don't know. Maybe it's like 160, 170. I don't know exactly, but that's a bit toasty for me. Suitable for batch parts and high volume production. Deeper black color than black resin. So I also saw this and I'm like, ooh, I need this. And what Baymax said specifically that it comes in like a smooth finish. And I'm like, ooh, absolutely. I need that. I need that. I need that. So this also comes basically sanded down without much issue. So I went with resin, surface finish, yes, and then also it comes with sanding, which is great. I chose two of these because one, it's not that expensive. Like each plastic part with JLC Black is only $1, which is stupid cheap, and especially with how small it is, that makes a lot of sense why it's so cheap. I actually don't know what this gray resin is. No sinkage, heat proof. Right. Anyway, obviously 3D printer artists and 3D artists know exactly a lot more than any of this, but if you need help, go find someone who can. I can't help you in this case. I don't know jack shit. I just say, looks good enough for me. So anyway, then we actually get down to the actually let me move on to this so I can show you yes. Inside, yeah. See, as you can see, it says $1. I bought two of each just in case I accidentally break one or one breaks in shipping or even at the factory, which I'll get onto shortly. So next up, we're going to actually go to the head metal. Now, obviously, you want it to be metal. Don't just go over here and start submitting and stuff. You want to make sure you press SLM metal. That is what tells you it's actually metal. And there's only one type of metal that comes in stainless steel. Now, there's pros and cons to getting stainless steel. For example, like, holy shit, that is $8. That's fucking cheap. That's amazing, especially when in total, one, eight, one. This is just under $11, and that's before tax and stuff, but we'll get on to that shortly. So, anyway, you want to make sure you also next press toy for the product description, the product that tells you the taxes and stuff. Yes, there might be import tax duties and other stuff, shipments fee. So yes, you do want this to show that yes, this is a toy. I put it in all three to make sure, hey, this is a toy to be played with because Beyblades are toys. They're not really designed to run machinery. Well, they can be. I mean, it has gears. So yes, I mean, I have this random Terra Swing from the Nightmail set. Even this rubber Excel. What the fuck? My ball! My balls fell! My ball pit fell! See? The ball pit. My balls. It fell. My balls fell. Anyway, yes, you're going to want to have all these uploaded. And as you can see over here, the standard build time is about 72 hours in total. And total price is $10.64, which is really, really great. And then also, if we go down here, shipping. Now, shipping is very important because this is an overseas product. You want to make sure that everything goes smoothly, nothing goes wrong, and depending on the type of business you want to deal with, you've got people like UPS, FedEx, DHL, Standard, Global. I chose UPS because it's fast and the fact that $23 for overseas is not bad at all. I'll happily take it. Oh, delivery success rate. So anything under anything under 5 days is your lowest chance. But I went with UPS Worldwide Express Saver because what or not shipping to the United States of America. So, if you are impacted by the tariffs, be careful. This might change in the near future because it is a Chinese company. I seriously recommend you, if you buy anything from JLC or get anything 3D printed, you do it now. Absolutely. Oh, I just now realized up here, uploading weapons and parts containing export controlled items, which violate will result in an account ban. Okay, so there's the other thing as well. In order for them to even take a peek at get out of here, even for them to just take a peek or look at your product, it needs to have an approval. Now, this usually takes about a few hours, especially only on a working day. If it takes like a few hours, that means you're good to go, and they'll get started on printing as soon as possible. It'll take about, as you can see, like 72 hours, and it's been around 72 hours since I first got it. Currently, it's Monday. I actually started getting stuff printed on Friday, I believe. Yeah. Usually, approval and printing happens the exact same day. Yeah. So as you can see, I already have it printed out and screenshotted and stuff for whatever I got. Yeah, I paid. It was on the 18th when I first got it, and it's currently, as of the time of recording, it is currently the 21st of April at 2:43 a.m. I have insomnia, but yes, as you can see, I paid for it, and I paid in total $26.50. Now, you will have to go through an approval process, as I said, which typically means that they look over it, they see if there's any issues, and if there's any issues, like say if they can't just print it due to like a file format problem or just the fact that it's too thin, because there can be times where if it's too thin, it will break more likely than not, especially on multiple repeated breakages. So if you have that issue, you need to find another file or you have to fix it up. So as you can see, also when it's in production, it can't be canceled. So when it first hits production and when it first finally gets approved, you don't pay up front. You pay after the item has been removed and has been approved. My apologies. And after so, it will once you pay for it. As I said right here, I paid only $26, $12 in shipping, and once they get paid, they start printing, which is really easy, really awesome, and I think that's great. Now, hold on. You're probably saying, wait, wasn't the shipping just about $23? Well, that's because if you sign up with JLC 3DP, and this is not sponsored, this is just what I experienced. If you sign up for them right now, you get yourself you get yourself a boatload of coupons basically. But the two coupons that I actually saw were that I actually had access to were an $8 and a $10 coupon, which means that anything under this weight or whatever, I don't remember what it exactly meant, but they basically took off $10. So this could have been 36.50, but I got $10 off. So if you want to start 3D printing now, especially with the tariffs going on, I wholeheartedly get it as soon as possible. Like this is stupid cheap, especially with all custom stuff. So I'd recommend being extra careful nowadays because customs could be on your ass at any moment. So then after it's all approved and all dealt with, it'll be taken to it'll be taken paid and then finally into production. As you can see, like the timeline up here, the 18th of April at 3:22 a.m. Yes, a.m. I am a horrible insomniac. It was only taken about reviewed about an hour later. It only took an hour for it to be completely approved. Or yeah, when it finally got paid, when they finally approved it, I paid immediately because I was actually that excited. So then it started hitting production literally only 3 minutes later. And as we can come down here and see, the estimated finish time for a lot of these are going to be the metal and plastic. This is the metal right up here, the first one. That is, it's going to take longer because it's metal. Duh. It needs to actually 3D print and deal with supports. So there's that. Then we have these two, which are expected to be done printing actually tonight, which is fantastic. In fact, I will show you that shortly. But for now, yeah, these are expected to be done tonight by 10 p.m., which is fantastic. Well, 10 p.m. Actually, oh wait, no way, hold on, because it's Chinese time. That means it's actually going to be done at around 10 a.m. Oh, it's actually expected to be done literally in a few hours. Because it's expected to be done around this time because remember this is done in real time unless it is American time, but because it already has some tracking going on, because it's already gone through a lot. For example, like if I go right here, yeah, this is currently this is currently what I'm seeing right now. It says it's currently done 422, but I'm not worried. See, this is I'm pretty sure is the metal right here. It's currently at 50%, and you can see it has like a boatload of times and tracking, which means you have ease of mind, and it's relatively simple to follow. So let's go over the process of from from the actual models to the real thing. So first is data processing, meaning it has to actually work with the 3D model and then move on. Then it starts printing, which we all know what that means. Finished. It actually finished printing in only about a day, which is pretty quick considering that they are a much bigger company. They do a lot of stuff and they do a lot of machinery, but a day is pretty quick. And this should only take about maybe from start to finish about maybe like 2 weeks, but that's fantastic. So then they remove the supports. They actually tell you about the support removals, and that's 4 hours after the printing's done. Now, likely it's probably because they are trying to snip it out and they have to deal with other orders. Then there's also rinsing and post curing. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm pretty sure it means they're removing some kind of like coating. From what I can gather, I don't know what exactly means. But if I have to guess, it's probably some kind of protective coating or some kind of oil during printing. I don't know much. I'm not a 3D modeler or a 3D printer, so designer. So if you want to contact anyone about that, contact someone who actually knows a lot more than me. I don't know jack shit. And then finally we get down to sanding, which is basically what you expect. It's sanding is just basically where you get like this piece of sandpaper that's like shaves down a little bit of the materials, just trying to get that smooth finish, and then sandblasting, which means it starts spraying out actual sand at the material to get even more fine details and imperfections gone. So then there's that. So then it also goes down to this final ones, QC. So what QC is, for those who are kind of illiterate, it just means quality control. Basically, it'll just go through a standardized test. It'll tell you what you have. It'll tell if it's good to go for shipping, and if it is, it just enters and exits the factory. It enters shipping. In fact, because of where the because of where it's located, the factory, it'll likely and the shipping facility, it'll probably only take like a day. In fact, same day. So overall, that's fantastic. So then you can also check out the some of the errors which you're likely to come across. The 3D models, apparently some of them do have wall thickness that is lower than a millimeter. Now that's not as concerning from what I've seen. I'll get onto that shortly. In fact, I'll get onto that right now. So as you can see, we have the actual like 3D model here in JLC 3DP or JLC PCB 3DP, whatever you want to call it. So they actually have this really cool like in-depth system where you can just like switch it up. I'm gonna switch it up to the more teal cyan blue that I'm actually going to be spray painting. Here it is. This is going to be kind of what it is. It's similar, but not completely. I mean, you can see like there's a lot of like uh blender as things. Now you're probably wondering where in the hell did anyone even get a 3D model from? Well, that remains a bit of a mystery because no one's going to actually destroy an Aero Pegasus to look at the internals. I mean, look, they have the pegs and they also have like the actual like hollowed out area. So how do people get this? Well, it's pretty much assumed at this point that someone managed to extract the 3D data from the Beyblade X app in Japan and they just stole it and said, fuck it, put it up on the internet. So this is actually really awesome to see in person before you can actually hold it, which is really sick. So then if we go into analysis results, we actually get to see a little more detail. We have a thin wall heat map. Now, this is the gray is kind of where it tells you everything doesn't shouldn't really have much of an issue. Now, when you see like the yellow, that's when it starts showing it's like anywhere between 1.2 millimeters to even as low as half a millimeter. And that's like it's the chances of breakage are a little higher, but it's not that dangerously high. Now, if we go on to this red portion right here, that means it has a millimeter thickness of less than half of a millimeter, which is very, very likely to break. But from what I can gather, I think the heat map might be a little bit wrong due to, well, it's only in like a very small section, like only like two small sections, like oh, three. So, especially when it's centered around like this area, it's around like the more thicker parts or oh, it's actually like right here. I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem because it is stainless steel. I don't think it's going to have much of an issue, especially when we're going to be using extra plastic centered around it. I think that this will be fine for battle. And of course, there are some other caveats that I'll get into shortly. Uh, I don't know the bounding box. Oh yeah, the bounding box tells you the actual diameter and the actual size of the object that you're using, so that's great. Sectioning. I assume I have no idea what this is, and that's freaking me out. I don't like that. Explode. I don't know what explode means. Are you kidding me? That's it. I assume it means like some of the triangles can just come apart. That's what I can. That's what I'm gathering from this. Is just the triangles can just come out. Bounding, but all right. No, we already talked about. So yeah, I think that this is gonna be great, and I don't think there's gonna be any problems at all with the 3D model. And well, yeah, Sick. Now I wanted now I wanted to show more about this one because it's got a lot more areas and it is going to be a lot thinner part on top of it being made of plastic. And it's got a lot of areas that are showing as less than a millimeter thick, which if you have some pretty strong plastics, I wouldn't worry too much, but if you chose something like some basic like I think resin might be the weakest. I don't know. I've heard nylon is a little stronger, but I'm not worried about that right now. I just see what people chose and be like, good enough for me. There's only also like a small. It looks like there's maybe a little bit more red than the middle, but I shouldn't be worried too much. I mean, if they can get the quality control down, I mean, look at the detail. Like you can even see where the ratchets can like just stay on. That's what this little piece means. It and this one as well. So if these were moved over, this would be more like a left spin one. So if you could theoretically make a left spin version of Aero Pegasus just by copying these over and moving it over to here and this, you could theoretically have yourself a left spin Aero Pegasus by just swapping these two bits out, which I think is actually kind of cool in my humble opinion. And maybe these made this part up here, but I don't know. So after you get all of that done and dealt with, you see the 3 models that they're ready, going to be packed soon. They're getting into production. What do you do? All you can do is wait, really. That's all you can do. Quite frankly, it's a bit nerve wracking, and especially when I don't even have it right now. As I've shown, I don't have Beyblade right now. I'm trying to go through a step by step process. I want to be a little more in depth, per se, while also showing a little bit of the goofy side in the intro. But yeah, once Aero Pegasus gets here, I will absolutely show it off, and we can even get started with spray painting and primer and stuff like that. Speaking of Aero Pegasus, let's go! Hello. So as you can see, I finally got the package. Yep, this is my boy right here, and so we're going to open it up. This totally didn't take me about almost a week. Basically, a week after I recorded the first section that y'all saw before, and no, of course not. That would be a little ridiculous. Okay, well, in reality, it didn't take that long to ship. In fact, it only took like a day to get over from China to here after it was all done printing. Anyway, as you can see, yes. So, firstly, we have the ratchet attachment. Yes. As you see, it's pretty well done. I don't see anything wrong much with this. It's very good looking. There are definitely a few of those marks, but I'm going to cover those up with paint. I got double of each because plastic can break easily. So I thought it would be better to just, I mean, depends on if the plastic can break a lot easier. Then there's also the gear chip area. Pretty snazzy. Yeah. There's definitely like a few imperfections here and there. For example, because of the triangles on the 3D model, I think it transferred over quite literally. I think there's also an issue with the fact that, well, these were on supports, so they had to be removed, so it's probably also there. Then we get onto the main metal pièce de résistance, which is the actual Aero blade metal design, which, yes, this is stainless steel, and yes, this thing is quite the hefty one. As you can see, this thing looks awesome. It's definitely very angular. There is quite a few imperfections that I've noticed, but I think that this thing will be excellent. I mean, you can even see, like, on this little peg right here, it has a few of those
triangle still shown on the actual thing. On the side, it's very much... the camera hides a little bit of detail, but you can see that there's definitely like some very rough spots. But overall, I'm happy with the blade and the design itself. And if we want to actually get my pressure scale that I totally didn't do Colombian nose candy on, so let's just weigh the metal itself. 35.7. The metal alone is heavier than a lot of Beyblades. Like, it's heavier than this, my Ghost Circle, which, if we were to take this off, that is only 1 gram smaller. That's only 1 gram lighter, I mean to say, than... Actually, not even a gram lighter. Well, in total, this is basically this is just a slightly more heavy. Like, this is a full combo as well. This is just the stainless steel. Like, if we even go low. Yeah, 34.4. Yeah, as I said, 34.4. 35.7. So, this whole thing weighs more than my Dragoon Storm, which I have never used because I wanted to keep it a little bit pristine. Plus, the Rubber Excel can wear it down. But anyway, full combo, full actual developments. Take your best guess in the comments. Like, how heavy do you think this is actually going to be? I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you're all wrong. It's like 42.5 grams. That makes it the heaviest blade I have to date. For reference, let's move all this off to the side. So, for reference, come on, you fat son of a bitch. There we go. This is my Impact Drake. Heaviest blade today until, hopefully, when Scorpio Spear arrives next week, or in 2 weeks. This thing is 39.3 grams. This thing weighs more than my Cobalt Drake. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now that we're all done screwing around, it's time to paint. Almost got you. Oh God. I'm an idiot. So then, you're probably wondering, what do you need to do next? Well, as you can see, I got my paint, I got my stairs, I got my parts, and I'm going to also just, well, first you need a little bit of some other equipment. Like, for example, a face mask. It's the only one I have, fuckers. Deal with it. So, next up we're going to start shaking this, and where does it even say to start shaking? Or how long, you should say. Read all directions before beginning project. Yeah, well, I don't really care, so I'm probably just going to shake this for about, say like 15 to 30 minutes, so let's shake it. Alright, so I'm going to set the phone down real quick. I'm going to get the cap off. Get out! Get off! Ah! I don't like this. How do you open it? Oh, you're supposed to squeeze. Oh. That's what she said. Oh, yep, there we go. So, now, what you're going to want to do is, you want to do a little bit of a test break. Here, let's do it on this random Coke bottle. Yeah, I sufficiently have made it gray. Don't worry, these rocks you see, they're from a child labor camp in Botswana. So anyway, whoo, it's a little bit rainy outside. A little bit windy. You see all them trees there. That one's closer to the ground. That tells you how windy it is. I mean, look at them over there. Anyway, now to just do some light breezes. Dip. It is so hard to get everything done with the look like some okay-ish coats for now. So far, it looks pretty decent. I can smell it. I can feel the chemicals in my brain. So anyway, still need to do the other side. Let's give some love to the other stair steps. So I think I got a majority of it. Yeah, not my best work. I've never painted before, but I mean, it looks alright. I mean, I don't know. It looks okay. So yeah, we finally got these primered up. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to leave these alone for about 12 hours to let it cure at the very minimum. Because I'm going to flip these over, I'm going to put them on the other side, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which is actually painting. Alright, well, I also wanted to move these over quite a bit because, one, I was fully expecting them to actually start sticking to the plate itself. This is just a paper plate, so I'm not worried about it. So I moved these over with like a plastic spork. So yeah, I wanted to move these over and get them on a much drier looking plate, a much less used plate, and then I'm going to paint the other side when the curing's all done, and then we'll move on to the actual painting and instead of primering afterwards. But it'll take about 12 hours, and as you can see, I don't really see many imperfections that you're likely to also possibly cause some damage in the paint, but that ain't going to be that big of a problem, especially if you plan on primering the other side, which I do plan on doing. So yeah, just give it about 12 hours at minimum. I'd have to say at the very least, or even 24. Like, go as long as you can, because this thing needs time to dry. Like that was a lot of paint that I used, but overall, just give it time. All right, as you can see, I got all of my paint that I'll be using. I will be using this turquoise for the actual metal blade. One of these, likely this will be used for the actual double coat, because remember, Aero Pegasus is a double coat, and these two are very similar to the actual double coat, as you can see. I'll have it up on screen. Yep. And then finally, I'll have this white. Oh, not finally, but then I'll also have this blue. Now, I was gonna use this blue originally for the other double coat, but then I realized it's too bright, and I'm like, it's got a nice shimmer, so I'm gonna use that for the ratchet attachment. And this, as you can see, this is from Original GM Colors. I got this specifically from O'Reilly's. I got this from Menards, this from Meijer, and this one from Walmart. I had this white one for a while, but I actually got these two primers. These two. This primer I got from Walmart a few days ago, and I also got this blue from Walmart, but I don't plan on using it. I realized, why not go spend a little bit extra money and pretend like you totally meant to just go ahead and spend a little extra. And not because you totally didn't realize that you could have gone to O'Reilly and got this. Anyway, I'm also going to use this little box setup. Now, I am indoors. And if you're ever indoors and you're doing spray paint, make sure that you have some kind of facial protection. Because remember, spray paint is very toxic. Now, it's kind of ventilated. I mean, you can see I have the one fan, but whatever. If I need to, I can just go outside, but it should be fine. But Alright guys, as you can see, I got some pretty decent coats in. Currently the worst one at the moment is currently like the white because it's not gonna show, but I'm not worried about where the gear chip will be going because that's just gonna cover up some of this, but it's a work in progress. This is definitely the best so far because you can't see a lot of the details. I really love the look of this. Well, there still is a lot to go to, so I'm gonna also let these dry for a little bit of time, and then I can see. Oh, I'm so glad I went for that turquoise. It's not identical to the actual thing, like in terms of the actual color, but I think I managed to get a pretty decent color. Like, I like it. I mean, it's not the real thing, but it's definitely up there as like really cool and really special feeling. But yeah, I'll leave these to dry. I'll get them ready to go in about a few hours. Currently, right now, it is only like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Fun fact, I haven't slept for about 20 hours. No, seriously. I've been awake for 20 hours. And I literally just got these last minute. Like the paints. This is going to be, of course, used for this this middle bit. So I've also got some masking tape I'm going to be using. And so yeah, we're going to leave these alone for quite a while, and we're going to get the other side flipped over and see how we do from there. Oh yeah, I did also go outside in my on my porch because yeah, don't inhale that. Even when it's outside, the vapors are still like growing outside of the box. So take it outside. Don't put it inside. You can get some serious toxic poisoning. Anyway, let's get to waiting again. All right. So as you can see, I finally got the second coat on. I can't see. I can't tell if you can see, but there is definitely the turquoise and then the actual blue in there. That is what makes the double coats on there. This is more of a metallic. It's not perfect. Be wary because I did leave this out to dry for like 5 hours. I'm like, you know, it should be fine for masking. I mean, I did do slight damage. It's very hard to see, but I mean, it looks very pretty so far. It looks like something you find from, say, a bootleg version. But honestly, that's kind of what this is. It's like a bootleg version of Aero Pegasus to begin with. But overall, I'm happy. These two are getting dried on my forks. I found out that if you were to try to paint on, have these dry, which by the way, very pretty blue, which as you can see, it looks phenomenal. I did leave them to dry on my paper plates, and it started to tear the paper plates, started to stick to them. Which I'm like, okay, that's not good. So all of this started to stick. So I'm putting it on 2 forks, and I'm going to leave this blue dry and also start curing. Now I have my my very dusty fan, as you can see. I don't care about it right now. It's an old fan, it's whatever. And I've also got my my oven fan running. I have 2 of them on standby. I have one of these, which I don't know which one I should use. I'm gonna probably use the one that looks like the one with probably the least imperfection. You can see like there's definitely a few gray bits here and there, and there's barely any on here. There's not a lot of pooling either, which is great, except for maybe on these two, but I did do a second coat because the primer was showing through the white. But yeah, if I have to just leave these be and just say screw it, I'm not doing another coat, that'll be fine because it'll be covered up by a sticker, which I will be getting from Crimson Customs. So yeah, I'd recommend, and yeah, I am going to leave these alone. I am actually going to leave these alone for the recommended amount of time, which is 24 to 48 hours. I'm going to leave the fans running. I'm going to leave these drying. Actually, these might actually make it too cold, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave them air dry, but I will leave the oven fan on. Maybe I'll leave the fan off. Whatever. Yeah, I think overall, the work is fantastic so far. So, next step, assembly. Alright, we finally got the stickers in. And these come from Crimson Curse Customs. You can find his eBay page if you just look up like Beyblade X stickers. I'll have a link down in the description for you can find them. But yeah, as you can see, these are really pretty. I'll even have his YouTube channel in the link below. I didn't realize these were metallic. They were very rainbow. I did get the Pegasus one for this specifically, but he also gave me some Evangelion ones. It's kind of sick, actually. I actually didn't even order these. He just put them in for free. Thanks, dude. I appreciate the free stickers. Don't know what I'll use them for, but appreciate you, my dog. Anyway, we have the stickers. Now, I have a confession to make. I was a little bit impatient. And so, I might have already assembled it. But don't worry, it's very easy for it to follow. Here's what you do. Well, luckily I have this as an example. So, you first get this piece, technically. It goes right here. Now, where is it? There is a special this section right here. You see this where it looks like a backwards L? Well, that's the area where it lines up to this one peg, located in one of these sections. Now, if I were to... Where is it again? That's not it. Right here. So, it would be up top somewhere. It would be either here or here. There's a little peg that sticks out on one of these three corners. Yeah, it would stick out. So, it only lines up one way. It only fits in one way, so you can't exactly screw it up. Now, you also want to make sure it lines up with the ratchet attachment. And so, you'll have something like this. It'll fit in very easily. It does not go anywhere. I mean, that is flush. As you can see, there are these three little holes. And yeah, they only go in one way. So, it's very easy to not mess it up. So yeah, I got this in. It took a little bit of pressure. It also took... Hold on. It also took the hammer. Yeah, because of the amount of paint that I added, it is really difficult to get in. I had to get a hammer to push this in, and as you can see, it's pretty flush, and I think I'm really happy with the paintwork. And also, yes, I did do the other side of each, which I think is really fantastic to look at. Great design. I think it's absolutely worth it for the like $30 I spent. So I also have two other parts as well. I have the 360 and I have Excel. Now, I would go with a 370. I would take it off of my Pegasus, but I don't really want to. I mean, Pegasus is not that great, so it's mostly a collector's piece anyway, but I do plan on using this at some point. I'm a little bit afraid of using the rubber flat, but anyway, yes, reason why I wanted to use 360s because I don't want to ruin any stock combos. I like to just use stock combos in all of my Beyblades. Like, for example, even if it's like a standard Beyblade, I like to, or just like a special edition, my bad. I like to use the stock combos. I'll even just sometimes use an anime combo because, well, thanks, Small Toys. You gave me all of the random boosters except for literally 2 blades. You literally gave me non-duplicates. But anyway, back to this. So anyway, I want to just attach this on. This does go in. It can be a little bit of a tight fit. There we go. It's on there just fine. And then that is a fully built Pegasus. Then now let me get the sticker on. I'm going to have to shut off the video for a little bit. And as you can see, I have the gear chip on. Now, I did have to do some cutting here and there because it would not fit, but overall, it's not a legit thing. It's not a real bay, and trying to go a little bit more intricate would be a little bit painful. But anyway, we're going to do a test launch, and I'll be right back. 3, 2, 1, go. Sick. Sorry about the shadow. It's the only place I can set my camera down or my phone down without having any issues. Yeah, as you can see, Aero Pegasus. Now we're actually going to do a little bit of a test battle with one bay I don't care about and Aero Pegasus. I also have, so I have these. I have 3D printed nozzle grips, which I'll get into the description below, as I said again. So I've got it up against a blue Shinobi Shadow with 180 and metal needle, because why not? I don't care. I will manage to not be able to break the stadium because yeah. I'll try to leave it a little bit lowered. I have these two going at it, and let's see. We have Shinobi Shadow versus Aero Pegasus 3D print. 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Ooh, it might be a stamina finish. A point might be given to ooh, wait, stamina finish for Aero Pegasus 3D. That's 1 point. We're gonna do the basic rules. 2 to 5. Oh, this thing has a little bit of damage right now, but that's to be expected. That's fine. Who cares? It's only $30. I could probably get another one anyway. So anyway, it's first to 4 points. And if it can get an extreme finish, which I will have more of over here. All right, 3, 2, 1, go shoot! Oh, that is a knockout finish for Shinobi Shadow. So it's now 3-0 for Aero Pegasus. Sick. Oh shit! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! It broke! No! No! It broke! Oh, that sucks. Well, you fought valiantly. But unfortunately, there's the cost of 3D printing. It'll have its flaws. Oh, that sucks. Aero Pegasus died. No. Oh, well, at least I have another one. I guess that's why you don't ever use 3D prints, kids. Because for Beyblade battles, they could break easily. And unfortunately, my Aero Pegasus is officially dealt with and done. It's over. I'm going to actually stop right there, and I'll get on to the cons and pros. Oh, I can already tell you that this is a con. Oh, that sucks. Well, you win some, you lose some, am I right?
So I actually got Pegasus remade, fixed up, thankfully. That's why you always have to get two. That's why I recommend to get two at the beginning of the video, because chances like stuff like that will happen. So unfortunately, I will never be able to use Aero Pegasus because, well, I mean, it is an illegal bay technically to use. Where are my thoughts on the stance? Where do I stand in all this? Well, there are a few pros and cons that come from getting a 3D printed Beyblade, such as a rare one like Aero Pegasus. Now, let's go over the pros. Pros are it's cheap. It's stupid cheap. Stainless steel mixed with the resin. It's what I spend. It's about like $12 without taxes and shipping. Overall, it was like almost $27. So overall, great price. Like how you can't go wrong with that. Like getting a rare bay that's this special in my opinion. It's awesome. This is a bit subjective, but in my opinion, it's really fun to work on. It was really cool to see all these 3D prints, like like Beyblade creators and other content creators go out, and even 3D modelers and also those who extract data. It was kind of fun to finally get your hands on uh, a a bay you're not supposed to have. Another pro is JLC 3DP made it really easy. It's just basically plop the data in, get your 3D model, and you're done. And customs, because of there was a whole limitation. There's a bit of a loophole you can do. It is called de minimis exemption. Basically means you don't have to pay a certain kind of tax or fee, but be careful because you might have to at some point. There was actually during a time where JLC, in fact, this past week, said no, we cannot do anything over 800. So take that in consideration. If it's anything under $800 per person per day, it's exempt from a lot of duty and import taxes. So you might get lucky with not having to deal with anything related to this stuff. Yeah, JLC, JLC 30p, and also DHL, they made it really easy to get all my stuff from China over to the US. But be careful because it is the US and China don't exactly have the best of relations. You may want to watch out. Another reason why I'd say it's a pro, and it's very much a pro, is it's heavier. I actually did another weight test, and it shows that my Aero Pegasus, hold on, currently, as you can see, that is 43.6 grams for just the blade itself. Now, it was originally like 42.5, but that was it's mostly due to the additional paint. Oh my goodness, paint? I knew it was the thing that made it heavy. No, 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 no. It's the molds itself, but I added a shitload of paint. Most of the time, you're going to see Takara Tomy or Hasbro or whoever just do like very light things of paint. So, yeah, it's not the paint that adds the weight. I just happen to have a shitload of paint that was put on me. Everything, like even the white is paint. The blue underneath is paint. So yeah. Another thing that I wanted to add on is it was stupid fast printing. It only took about a few days to actually get done. It only took about 3 days, and shipping only took about a week to get here, which is crazy insane to think about. So with all of those happy thoughts out of the way, now we get on to back to reality and with cons. Now, obviously, as you already know, the plastic can be fragile, and this probably is because of the plastic I chose. I could have chosen, say, nylon or some other plastic, but overall, I think that you might have a lot tougher time with choosing a plastic. You probably have to go through multiple different plastic types in order to get a strong finish. I probably messed something up in say the painting process where I probably didn't paint enough areas to prevent this breakage. I mean, after 2 battles, like that's a big yikes for me, dog. Yeah, very weak. Another con is the fact that it's not legal. You can't use this in any tournament. It's it's not real. It's not made by Takara Tomy. It's not distributed by Hasbro. It's not. Uh, uh, yeah, you can't use it. Doesn't matter. Another thing that it also involves with the actual printing process itself. If you try to use the mobile app or the mobile website, it fucking sucks. It takes you to a completely different website where if you want to try to look it up on your phone and try to look up the progress and stuff on your phone, good luck. It's stupid, stupid as fuck. You have to be on your PC at all times. You have to be open and aware of what the process is and how many errors might happen. You can't use your phone, which is really, really much of a big issue, especially when I don't like to get on my PC as much because electricity is pretty fucking expensive. And going also back to DHL, a bit of their tracking is quite a bit off, where I actually had notifications much, much later on saying that my order was delivered, my actual 3D prints were delivered 4 hours after I actually received it. It's probably even longer than that because I didn't realize I actually got the thing at my door when until I was leaving work, and that was like 3 or 4 in the afternoon. I was like, "Oh, what the fuck? It's here? Well, shit. Why didn't you tell me? That would have been nice." And so it's also a bit confusing where it also tells you about the whole customs clearance. Like, what the fuck does this and any of this even mean? I don't know what this means. So it's a little confusing, but as long as you get the product at the end of the day, it's delivered on time. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Another thing that is kind of more of a skill issue than anything is the fact that painting can be a bit of a bitch, especially when it comes to the tolerances, where it's just so difficult to get it in, especially when I had to use a fucking hammer. It will damage the paint, but I mean, if it's like on the underside, right where the ratchet is. I don't think it's that big of a deal, but it is a pain in the ass. Now, it was actually get it easier, to replace this part on because I've already basically just scraped a bunch of it off by just lifting the entire broken piece off. So yeah, what are my thoughts and should you do it? Now, if you do plan on battling an Aero Pegasus, I strongly suggest you try to at least find a different plastic piece. And I do recommend if you do want to get your plastic printed, go somewhere else. Go either invest in a 3D printer or find someone who actually does 3D prints with the correct kind of plastic to use because I use the JLC black resin. It was pretty fragile, apparently, especially when you're choosing stuff to go at high speed. I recommend you do some more research and focus on making a product that doesn't kill after 2 battles by Shinobi Shadow. Shinobi Shadow technically won, but I don't count it. It lost 3-0. Fuck you, Shinobi. Especially when it's not even the original recolor. Actually, I do need to check and see if I actually have any damage on my Shinobi. It's probably got paint marks. But also another thing is the fact that the paint, it's I don't know if you can. Nah, I mean maybe you could probably see it. No, it's not even that malicious vein, but maybe. Maybe I don't know, but there's there's so oh that is oh wait that is oh yeah that is paint. I thought that was my pinky, but you can see like there is a slight tinge of blue. The it's probably because I chose a pretty bad paint. I did literally go just fucking anywhere I could. I went to Lowe's, I went to Menards, I went to Kroger, I went to Meyer, I went to everywhere to find this fucking paint. I even went to O'Reilly's and AutoZone to even find it. AutoZone surprisingly did not have it, but I did go to O'Reilly's. I did also go to Walmart. Even even when finding the right paint you need, it's not the right paint. It will never be. I probably do need to get like a clear coat or something to protect it more. And especially, oh yeah, there's like a bit of a damage on it. You probably see it, but overall, if you're someone who just wants it as like a collector's item, perfectly fine. If you don't want to battle, if you're not a competitive person, perfectly fine. $30, why not? But if you really want to use this for battle, you ain't gonna use it for battle, even for casual use. I don't know what it is, but this broke. The I use the exact same plastic that Baymac used. Maybe I had some weird bad luck and the models were just also too light or too weak. It could be that, I don't know. So anyway, that is all for this video. It is literally about a 2 to 3 week video in the making, which which is fucking insane. But overall, if you can find stronger plastics, I recommend you go ahead and do that if you want to use this for battle. But overall, don't. It's not worth it unless you can absolutely get the heavier plastic. But anyway, that'll be all for this video. Catch you all in the next one. Peace.